Hello and a warm welcome to everyone to our group project presentation. We are group number 12 and our title is Software as a Service for Vaccine Tracking System. And our group members are Yashvardhan Dwivedi, Vinay Manala and Om Pancholi. And our project mentor is Mrs. Jyoti Kori. To begin with, end-to-end supply chain tracking is expensive for goods in public domain and is mostly privatized in India. Thus, our motivation encapsulates to provide an efficient end-to-end supply chain tracking system based on blockchain for goods that are public domain like vaccines. Uh, the problem statement of a project included to design an efficient system for asset tracking in supply chain using a decentralized database for management. Also, to provide feasibility in user and vendor interactivity and to implement real-time location-based waypoints for data. Talking about the current scenario in the market, I'd like to say that the end-to-end supply chain management systems are expensive for goods in public domain. Also, due to the public nature, security becomes an issue. And the e-commerce service have taken the monopoly of managing out-of-store application. Thus, one needs to compulsively integrate themselves into the ecosystem. From here, my group partner Yashvardhan would like to continue.
Thank you, Om. So, talking about our proposal, we have proposed three major pillars in our project. First thing is user-specific tracking for goods in public domain. Now, as we can say that vaccine is sensitive towards public and its public use, it is essential that we need to keep the track open-ended and sensitive towards public. So, taking to the roots, we have taken real-time location for goods that are in public interest. Next, location as key value, that is, the real-time location will play a prime factor for this application. And finally, use of blockchain. The features such as QR-enabled process will be used to keep track on each step in the supply chain management. The features of this web service will feature a progressive web app for location data. This will be also a native app for user and vendor where they can interact and use the features like monitoring the location and using QR codes for contracts. Blockchain as main DB and NoSQL for location. The main and the permanent database will be stored inside the blockchain, and the NoSQL database will be used for real-time location mapping for the goods in the public domain. This will also store a copy of the waypoint for each trade, and after that, the same waypoints will be mapped inside the blockchain. Separate console for vendor. Keeping the integration of security as feasible as possible, we have made admin as the main person responsible for updation of the blockchain. The vendor will have separate space for functionality, and through the manifest of the data that will be sent by the vendor, the admin can update the blockchain and can easily secure the parameters inside the parameters of the data. Now, Vinay will continue. Thank you.
Thank you, Ashwardhan. Block diagram. This is the basic blueprint of working of the project, that is software service for vaccine tracking system. So all the interactions or all the communication will be communicated via the web application. So the client will communicate or interact with the web application. Now client includes local people as well as the vendor as well. So both of them should be interacting with the web application. Now admin will also be interacting with the web application. Admin can log in via a certain public account, and the private key will be his password. So admin can add new product, which after adding the product, QR code will be generated for the particular batch number of the product, as well as delivery boys additional details will be recorded, and all this will be recorded and stored inside the blockchain database. Now all these interactions of the NoSQL as well as the blockchain database will be communicated via the blockchain network, which is basically the Ethereum blockchain network we are using here. Now for tracking of the shipment purposes, for the Android application or a PW has been developed, which will be at the delivery boy's end. So the location of the delivery boy will be stored on the NoSQL database. For that we are using Firebase, and then so this is so NoSQL database will contain the temporary data, and after the certain checkpoint is recorded on the NoSQL database, all the major confidential or security personal details will be recorded onto the blockchain database. So this is the basic working of our project. Conclusion. So the vaccine tracking services use end-to-end supply. We are using end-to-end supply chain management system, which in integration with the blockchain network, which provides better security and transparency. Now this services software as a service for vaccine tracking system solely focuses on the client's requirements, which is local people and vendor as well. Now this client requirements will get the local people will get the vaccine tracking information, and the vendors requires for procuring of the goods. Now future scope, visibility for more service goods. Now companies like VExpress, Rhino are some of the major logistic tracking services dominating in India nowadays, which tracks all type of goods, and it tracks it based on the shipment code. Now our vaccine tracking services also can be extended to carry and track multiple goods like in FMCG tracking services. Secondly, addition of vehicle tracking as a whole. Now for this, companies like Uber, Waymo are using tracking system for vehicles, which involves ECG tracking device, which helps in monitoring of various vehicle modules like fuel, battery, car, air conditioning, etc. So our service, our vaccine tracking service can also be extended in these areas as well. Third, vendor specific functionality. Now according to the vendor specific features, features can be added according to the client's requirements, which includes medical, food, electronic equipment, etc. type of goods. Thank you.